Hey guys, I am re-recording this for you because our Zoom call last night did record, but unfortunately, I forgot to turn the mic on my phone where I was showing you the projects, and so you only see my face as I'm trying to show you the projects, which is not very helpful for you. So I'm gonna re-record this for about the 5th time now. I tried to upload or record it to YouTube and it shut off like 3 times. So here we go on the 4th. This is the 4th run. Hopefully this works. Okay, so I'm going to start with the project that you have that looks something like this with these pieces. But I'm using different designer paper because I ran out of this. And you will have a few small pieces, and I'm going to show you how to use those. Basically, when you do this design, you want about 3 pieces, maybe 3.5 of 2" by 6", and then you're going to cut them diagonally as I have here. And I usually try to pick a paper that has 2 sides that will coordinate nicely with each other. Hopefully these will. You'll see that some of these colors go together pretty well. All right. Excuse me. So your piece of white paper is 4" by 5¼ And what I suggest that you do, if you have trouble lining things up, you might want to get and put a line across here about 1¼ inches up from the bottom, just with a pencil, so that you can start there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put an adhesive line about 1½ inches up. And I'm going to go ahead and just cover this whole top with glue. I'm not using green glue, because it will dry too fast for what we need to do here. The other thing is you might want to lay your pieces out, because if you have some smaller ones, you're going to want to make sure they stay over here to the right-hand side, because our focal point, or our point for our starburst, is going to be to the right. But you want to be at least 1 inch, 1.5 inches in from the right-hand side. Otherwise, it's not going to look real good. If you get too close to the edge, it's really hard to get those little pieces in there to look like they belong. So I'm going to position this about 1¼ inch up from the bottom. Bringing it down just a hair. Let's see. There we go. All right. And then I'm going to take another piece, the opposite side. And when you stick this in here, you want to make sure you're coming down to your line. Actually, that does not look straight. Hold on. I don't like that. Let's see if I can reposition that without making a mess. I should have maybe made a line like I told you to do. Do what I say, not what I do, right? Okay. So the next one comes in here, and I want to make sure that that point is not just meeting the point of the other one, but actually coming down to my baseline, so that everything stays nice and straight as it goes across. This is going to be the longest piece that you need right here, these 2, because they're going over this left-hand corner. So you'll want to make sure that as you position your papers, you use your longest ones there. Once again, coming down to the baseline, and then just matching it up with, try not to get my big hands in here so that you can see. Pushing it against that last piece. And I just keep going. When I run out of paper, I'm going to actually trim off what I did. Now, I did a video on Starburst using a different design where I started down here in the left-hand corner and did the Starburst out that way. So you can check that one out for a different style. Works very similar. I used the same size paper, I think. For that one, you might need a 2x7, but I think I almost made it. It just depends how you position it. Okay, so I used all 6 of my pieces. I could use another piece here, but I'm going to find that I have plenty of paper available once I cut these off. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to cut along this cardstock line. Trying not to cut into my cardstock. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my biggest piece, which I think is this one, and I'm going to cut a point on it to go there. Okay, so I obviously don't want it to fill this whole space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it point to point here. Probably not going to go quite as far because that's going to get really wide. So I'm going to go from this point to somewhere in here on my cutter. All right, so here's this point, and I'm going to come out about here. Okay, so let's put that one down here. All right, so I have one more piece here, and I'll take my smallest piece because I don't need a lot. And I think that will fit in there good, but I need to cut this straight. So I could either do a mark here where I can come straight across here. I'm going to put just a little mark there just to give myself an idea of where I need to be. And I might just cut this with my scissors. There we go. Now let me trim the rest of that off. This is just how quick and easy this is. It's really fun to play with different designs and try to find some coordinating paper that goes with it. So this one is using our new Forever Greenery designer paper, which is just absolutely gorgeous. And I'm also using one of our new dies. I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use. But the Forever Fern stamp set is what I'm using the saying from. I'm going to do the You Can Do This, just so that it coordinates with my designer paper. And that's sweet. I'm just going to stamp that on here in Mossy Meadow and pop that up with some dimensionals. I hate to cover that starburst pattern up, but you could either put it here or here. It just depends what you want. I guess I'll go ahead and do that. Maybe bring it down here a little bit. Now, on your card, you're going to have this little band that goes across here. This is done with one of our foil papers and the Ornate Garden die. This is champagne foil. So you'll have that to cover up any imperfections you might have on the edge of your design there. And I should have done something here, maybe a ribbon or something would go nicely there. I did cut out 2 of the leaves from the Forever Greenery. And I'm going to sit down because my back starts hurting when I lean over too much. So I'm just going to pop these babies right in here. I'm just adding a little green glue to the tip of them. Oops, that one's sliding. Don't go away. Okay. And then that's going to get layered on a piece of Mossy Meadow. Please don't mind my gardening fingers. I have my grandson today, and when we got back to the house here, he had to pull weeds, so loves digging in the dirt. Got to train him how to pick beans, and we'll be good to go. All right, so there's my card, and like I said, yours is going to look a little different. I will show you another version. I used some of the Best Dressed paper. Not happy with the contrast here. I don't think it stands out quite enough, but you get the idea. And then I also did one with the focal point at the bottom. So just some different ways you can play with that and have fun with that. All right, so that one's finished. So your next one that I'm going to show you is the dinosaur one. And you could have one of 2 designs. One of these 2. You'll have the yellow or the peacock, just depending on the paper that you got. So your dinosaur could be blue or could be yellow. If you want to do this little belly, I just used the marker, the Stampin' Right marker, and just colored the belly in. You can do the same on the yellow one. I decided he needed to be eating something, and so I did the leaf punch here. That's our leaf punch that's going out. So make sure you grab that if you don't have that yet. It's just fabulous for adding some greenery to something that you don't have to go die cut. So for this designer paper, you're going to cut your paper 4 inches by 4 inches, and then just diagonal cut it, then scoot one piece to the top, one to the bottom, and that leaves you with this little track in the center. Sorry, I just ate lunch, and I guess I ate too fast. I'm not sure how, though, because I was eating with my grandson, trying to coax him to eat. His belly was sticking, so he had to stop eating. I don't think he liked the soup that we had. He's so funny. Okay. So, then this piece in here, I think it's like 7/8 of an inch. I wanted it to be a little smaller than the track. You can measure that and see how much of a strip you need in there if you want to make some more of these. So that's really it. Not a whole lot to that. I did add some, eyes and some nose dots just with my, journaling pen. Okay. Or any pen will work. What else did I want to say? Oh, and this one, I added one of our dino decor elements, or whatever they're called, enamel shapes. And those are also going out. They're really cute. Our dinosaur set is staying, but the paper and these will be going out. So you might want to check into getting those if you really like this set. Okay, so that's that one. And then last but not least, is this the last one? One, two, yeah, okay. So this is the third one, and I did a video showing what I did here with this paper. Let me just hold this up a little closer. I showed how I embossed with the subtle embossing folder, and then I used the plank embossing folder to get all of the little detail in the wood there. Really looks like wood grain now. Now what you'll see is your early espresso piece will have the hello cut out of it. That's where I cut your letters out of, but it's not going to show because your So Saffron will be on top of that. So those can get layered on your pool party piece. Then this is our Mosaic Madness, I believe, Mosaic designer paper. That's just beautiful. Also, all of our designer papers are going away. We always get new ones every year. So make sure if there's any that you like, you get those, because a lot of our stamps carry through, but the papers don't. And it's really sad when they're gone. You'll also have a bird. Your bird may not be going in the same direction. It's okay. You got one of the birds off the whole sheet of paper that I cut every bird out that I could. And this paper is also embossed, and you see really pretty shiny little mosaic patterns on that. Behind this designer piece here, you're going to put your strip of gold. I used the scallop punch. That's also going out. And I didn't pick this stuff because it was going out. It's just stuff I love to use. And I'm very sad to see these punches go. I used the side, I tucked under the bigger scallop, and I used the small scallop. I really love the understated look of just a tiny scallop there. But if you prefer the other side, all you have to do is just flip it around and just glue that under there. Or if you want the whole piece showing, you could just put it right over top of that. So however you want to do that. And then your letters will go on down here. And these are also going away. This is called something Prose Alphabet. I can't remember the first word of that. And it's not an expensive alphabet set. I think it's $30-some, like the typical price of a set of dies. And I love it. I love the scripty look of it. I was really sad to see our larger set go, but to tell you the truth, this one fits much better on a card. And I'm really going to miss this set. In fact, I'm keeping this set, but if you want this set, you're going to have to get it now because it's going to be gone very soon. Okay. So make sure you grab that if you still need that. All right. And then if you were in my club, you would have gotten a second card, or a second, how about a fourth card? I threw in, which some of you may have made before. And I already put this together because like I said, this is the 4th time I'm doing this silly video. So I'm just going to pull this apart to show you how I did this. It's going to look messy. So this is a 3" by 4" piece of designer paper. And I scored it at 3/4 of an inch. So there's 2 of them to match, 3/4 of an inch on each one. And then I folded this edge in just to the, I glued it to the back of my embossed piece. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I folded, this is take 5, 4. Now this is take 5. It stopped again on me. I am so furious. But anyways, I'm done with this. I'm almost finished with the card. So I folded it in, just, you can see just a hair there. And then I folded this side in as well. You will have to work the edge here just so you don't tear it as you're folding it. And then this will overlap and you'll have a bit of a mess here. So what I did was I came to the point and I just cut off like the whole 1/2 inch that was overlapping, and I just cut it straight down. And then you can go ahead and glue this piece down. And then you have your flap. Do both flaps, fold them in. This will layer on your piece of paper. You're going to have different designs, guys. I cut out a whole bunch of different paper from this Best Dressed, and I'll show you some of the different samples I have here. This one gets this and a saying. You'll just add your saying here. Okay. And what I did was I just put a glue dot here and tucked this on to hold it in place. The cool thing with this is if you do that, you have this little pocket there that you can stick. You can put some candy in there or something if you want to give a gift with it. So here's a couple other ideas from the different papers. And I was just playing with some of the different die cuts that we have. You can see here I added a little accent piece. If you'd like to do that to your card, you can. There's a butterfly on that one. This one I added our, I forget what that punch is called. I always forget that for some reason. It came with the masculine set that we had. This was the first one that I did. And that's it. There might be a couple of other papers that you have. I've sent some of these already. So, okay.